Nearly half of the roads Britain will build over the next 5 years will be bypasses, roads that take traffic around towns and villages instead of through them. For with nearly 11 million vehicles using the roads of this country, it's in the narrow streets of shopping centres and towns like Brentwood in Essex that the system can get bogged down. While heavy traffic is trying to pass through a town such as High Wycombe, which already has its own local traffic problems, life can become chaotic, even uncertain. But Maidstone's main street has found peace. It used to be hammered and its people almost suffocated by nearly 2,000 vehicles passing every hour. Now the through traffic sweeps along the town's recently opened 7-mile bypass. One of the 46 new bypasses to be built in the country starts life on the drawing board under the eye of the local divisional engineer, while men from the county surveyor's office check how and where the route will cut through private property. Notices of the proposed route are then displayed locally. The road planner's dream is that no one will object to the route. His nightmare is that he'll get a mail like this, or worse still, that it'll go straight to the Ministry of Transport, who control and authorise all major road building in the country. Most objections can be settled on the spot by altering the route slightly or by making good possible damage to property. Outstanding objections are pointed out to the Minister of Transport. He makes a final decision. But if the objector is still dissatisfied, the Minister may have to face questions on the issue in the House of Commons. Once the new bypass has got over these birth pains, work begins. Old property has to be cleared. But in building new road schemes, the old that is valuable is not always destroyed. This timber-framed Tudor house, complete with its occupant, stood in the path of a new inner bypass for Exeter. So, by jacking up the old place as it stood, hey, what's going on? It was decided to move the 500-years-old building to a new site down the road. In fact, it was up the road, up a 1-in-10 hill. Mounted on an iron-wheeled chassis that ran in steel channels, the 3-storied 30-ton house was slowly winched up towards its new site. Still intact, the house arrived. And then the London removal engineers had to slowly jack it down onto its new foundations and get the chassis out from under it. Oi, this don't feel level. Finally, the old place was secure in its new home, and where it once stood, a new road could drive forward. In more rural districts, where a bypass is going round a village, trees have to be cleared. Then giant tractors are brought in to clear topsoil and to level off the ground for the foundations of the new road. The 2 men in charge on the site, the resident engineer from the county's road department and road builders representative, keep an eye on things as some 500,000 tons of earth is removed. Experienced mechanical operators of road building equipment average 25 to 30 pounds a week and move from one contract to another wherever roads are to be built. For a new bypass, bridges may have to be constructed, like this one over the River Medway in Kent. More than 3/4 of a mile long, including its approach viaducts, this job was put at over £2.25 million. The centre span, 500 feet long, will be 116 feet above the river to allow shipping to pass under it. Across the bridge will be 2 24-foot wide carriageways and pedestrian footpaths. Where new bypasses cut through crowded areas, flyovers have to be built across busy thoroughfares. and old residential streets are cut back and blocked off to allow for the more important fast way. A new bypass is ready to be opened. Hundreds of thousands of drivers on the Great North Road will give a sigh of relief when they know that they can avoid passing through the centre of Stevenage. The Minister of Transport is the first to use the new 7.5-mile bypass, which cost all of £2 million. With the increasing speed of traffic on bypasses and similar roads, a lot of thought has been put into signposting. It must be clear and concise, yet nothing left out. At the beginning of a Yorkshire bypass, experimental signs indicate the amenities which motorists can find in the town that the road will avoid. In this way, it's hoped to meet the complaint of many traders in bypass towns and villages that the loss of traffic has given them peace, but killed their trade. The old world village of Markyate in Hertfordshire used to have the A5 from London to Holyhead passing right through it, with more than 10,000 vehicles every 24 hours. For the 1900 population, crossing the main street was the most nerve-wracking job of the day. But look at it now. The old main road is closed, and Markyate is almost forgotten as the traffic sweeps around it at speed. Stilton, of the famous cheese, is another village that's been bypassed. Once the A1 roared through it, now only visitors and locals keep to the old road. One of the 2 garages in the village closed when the bypass opened. Takings had fallen 75%. Its owner moved to a new site on the A1. Miss Joanne Nicholas, a village cafe owner, closed down through lack of business 4 months after Stilton found peace. The village milk delivery man, 47-year-old Joe Williams, lost £10 a week in takings. And Stilton's pubs now have to depend more on their regulars. The loudest noise in the village today is the cry that the place is too quiet. But that itself could be the attraction that in years to come will lure trade back as tourists rediscover the quiet villages of Britain.